There's a second thing we have to do, and that is we have to realize that the middle-class jobs of the 21st century will require more skills and more education than those jobs have ever required. So I go back to my own upbringing. My parents had a very limited education, and yet they made it to the middle class working as a bartender and a maid. That is really hard to do nowadays. The truth is that the jobs that now pay enough for you to be able to do that will require you to have more education than you've ever needed. That doesn't always mean a 4-year degree. In fact, some of the best paying jobs in America require less than 4 years, but more than high school. The problem is the people who would most benefit from that struggle to get access to it because it costs too much, because it's difficult for them to achieve it. So put yourself in the place right now of a single mother raising 2 children, working full-time. She gets up in the morning, she makes them breakfast, drops them off at school, she works for 8 hours, she picks them up from aftercare, takes them home, makes them dinner, helps them with homework. It's 11 o'clock and she's exhausted. The only way she's ever going to find a better job, though, is if she acquires the skills that allow her to, instead of being a receptionist, allow her to become an ultrasound technician, or a nurse assistant, or some other profession, a paralegal. The problem is, how is she going to drop all her things that she has to do to go to school full-time? She can't. And the problem is that our higher education system today is a monopoly. It does not allow competitors that will provide services for someone like her to break into the field. It's completely controlled by a handful of universities around the country who are telling everybody else that can provide learning to people, you're not allowed in. We won't let you teach people even though you're able to do it. But we can do that now in the 21st century. For example, she should be able to go to someone and say, here's my 10 years of work experience. Here's the subjects that I've mastered. Here are the 30 hours that I took in a community college. And here's some online courses that I did for free. And we should be able to combine all of that learning, because it's learning after all, into something that's the equivalent of a college degree. So she can become a paralegal or an ultrasound technician. And why aren't we educating more kids in high school to be plumbers and mechanics and electricians? We can learn that when you're 17 or 18 years old. In fact, it's being done in selected places, where kids are going to school for 2 hours in the morning and then they're learning to become BMW technicians. And when they're 18 years old, they graduate not just with a high school diploma, but with an industry certification that allows them to make $38,000 a year their first year out of high school. We should be doing more of that, and we're not. And what about the student loan issue? Go to any Starbucks and the person behind the counter is likely to be a college graduate. There's nothing wrong with working at Starbucks, I suppose. There's nothing wrong with that job, but that's not what they went to college for. And they can't find a job. But you know what's worse? They owe $50,000 in student loans. Because we are graduating kids with degrees that do not lead to jobs because it makes universities feel good about themselves. And so every kid, before they take out a loan, should be told, this is how much you can expect to make when you graduate with this degree from this university, so that people can make an informed decision about whether it's worth borrowing $40,000 to major in art history or in some other profession, which might be fantastic. It might be fantastic. But you're going to struggle to find a job that's going to help you pay those loans. You at least deserve to know that. You at least deserve to know that.